mother wakes up one day and thinks, do you know what? I've got a really, really important question to ask Google. How the deuce do I get rid of my child? What? Hey up everyone, it's me, Stef The Alter Nerd, your nerdy alternative, and welcome to another edition of the Daily Nerd, where I break down today's true crime story that's pretty much caught me eye, and this one was definitely hard to miss. Yes, a mother made an outrageous search question on Google, and guess what? She's been found guilty of a horrendous crime. What happened to this child? Unfortunately, this does not have a happy ending. Before I dive into this story and explain exactly what happened, if you haven't done so already and you love true crime on the daily, then make sure you subscribe to join our Alter Nerd tribe. Like, share, comment, all of that good stuff. Also, make sure you turn your notification bell to on so you're notified every single time I drop a Daily Nerd or go live. With that being said, let's jump into it, shall we? So this is from Metro, and yes, it is true. It sounds ridiculous, but it's true. A mother Googled that she wanted to give up a child, and now she's facing jail over the toddler's demise. What the deuce is going on? Now, for YouTube, I'm not going to go into too much detail about what happened to the child. I'm just going to look at the basics. With that being said, the 11-month-old baby girl, her name was Nafahat. She was found passed away on a mattress, soaked in pee. Just unsanitary conditions. It was awful. After her very extremely neglectful mother left her with a chest infection that was just untreated for days. This baby went through agony. This is like so innocent. Like, the baby did nothing at all, just existed, came into this world, and is treated like that in its very short life. It's awful, 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 right? But damn right, Mother of the Year award goes to this evil, yeah, there, proper, yeah. Fartun Jamal, aged 25, has been found guilty, damn right, of causing Nafahat to pass away back in early 2019. Jurors heard during the trial that she made internet searches for, I can't cope with my child anymore and I want to give up my child. Now, I'll tell you something. Does she deserve to go to jail? Yes. Does she deserve to rot behind bars? Hell freaking yes. However, she's not well. My opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, that lass is not well. Mentally speaking, like, she needs help. Therapy, psychotherapy, therapy. If I could get my teeth back in, she needs help. There is something not wrong with this. There's just something not right with this lass. See where I'm coming from? But she does definitely deserve to rot behind bars for what she's done. Babysitter Amy Whitaker George contacted social services on February 13th after she saw the toddler living in a house, basically not living in the best of places. No food, dirty plates, nappies everywhere. It just wasn't the ideal conditions for a baby, right, to say the least. Officers have visited the home in Brent Park in London on February 22nd, but Jamal had been told about the inspection and managed to make things look improved. So basically, from what I'm gathering there, she was warned in advance that there was going to be an inspection, so she papered over the cracks and made it look like everything was tickety-boo, when really it was a freaking Nightmare on Elm Street situation. What the deuce, right? I'm sorry, but if you're going to make an inspection on someone that you suspect is not treating a child well, why would you be pre-warning them of your visit in the first place? I'm just saying, wouldn't you want to know the natural habitat, the natural goings-on of what's actually happening without it being faked, as she did there? So that, the authorities, the investigators were fooled because she was warned in freaking advance that they were coming. What? Who does that? You just rock on over and be like, do you know what? We received reports. We're going to have a nosy right now. And you just barge your way in because child's life is clearly at stake. Hello? Am I living in Cloud Cuckoo Land? Am I completely naive to this? Like, this is nuts. Nuts with a capital N. I'll tell you that now. Now, social services, they were called again on March the 8th by a second babysitter, Nicolette Rufo. This time, they didn't tell Jamal they were coming. See? Lesson freaking learned from the first one. To be fair, they shouldn't have told her that they were coming on the first freaking visit. They should have just come up unannounced. That's exactly what they should have done the freaking first time. Freaking first time. What happened the second time, though? So they drop in unannounced on March 13th. This, though, was sadly also the day that baby Nafahat passed away. Now, for 9 days, this article reports that Nafahat had been struggling with a chest infection. And her mum, for some reason, thought it was a good idea. Do you know what? I'm not going to take her to a doctor. I just can't be bothered. My own flesh and blood, suffering, chest infection. Really needs to go to a doctor, but you know what? I just really, really can't be bothered. Yeah, proper winning all the points to get Mother of the Year on this one, right? Evil. Evil. See? And I'm saying this sarcastically, guys, if you're not getting my drift here. Mother of the freaking Year, right? Now, the police said in the bedroom where Nafahat was found, basically the walls were covered in things that you don't want them to be covered in. Very unsanitary. Nafahat's cot had broken and collapsed side and contained several blankets and duvets. The cot and bedding were all soaked in a substance that really you don't really want. Very unsanitary. So this baby was sleeping and living in an environment that was not healthy. And to be fair, she had a chest infection. I wonder where she got that from. She clearly was not living in an environment that was basically optimized for her freaking survival. It's as literal as that. This is awful, ridiculous. The baby's 11 years old. I'm 11 months old. I'm kind of stuttering and stammering and falling over my words because I'm going through this article and I'm thinking, how does a mother get away with this with a baby for 11 freaking months? Like, this doesn't happen overnight, right? Where a mother all of a sudden decides, you know what, I'm going to turn evil on one of my own. You know what I mean? It's usually systematic. It's usually a daily occurrence, a very regular thing, right? She's getting away with this for 11 months until that baby passes away. Where were social services then? Where? Now, during Jamal's trial, the mother insisted she had consulted a doctor about Nafahat's death. But Harrow Crown Court determined the mum had instead called a GP's reception twice. The receptions were adamant they would never give medical advice. So she tries to spin it to say, do you know what? I did speak to doctors. Yeah, you called the doctors, but actually you didn't speak to the doctors. You spoke to a receptionist, and they ain't going to give you medical advice because they don't have a PhD after their freaking name. They are, and I don't mean to be, what is it? But they're just receptionists to book in your appointment, and that's it. As I wipe my nose. Have fun with that. Got a bit of cold going on. It is what it is, guys. But getting back to it, dude, you cannot say you spoke to a doctor. You spoke to a freaking receptionist. That ain't a doctor. They don't have a PhD after their name. What a load of bull. The court heard Jamal, who moved from Somalia to the UK at a young age, did not have a healthy childhood. She told jurors she instantly fell in love with Nafahat, but became depressed and anxious as she had no support as a parent. She says, I felt useless because of the life I had growing up. I didn't want the same for my daughter, she said, which that goes back now full circle to what I said near enough at the beginning. She mentally there was something wrong and she needed help. She needed a psychotherapist, a psychiatrist, someone to speak to, a therapist to help her mentally. Because clearly she was not adapted to be able to do this at all. So that rings true what she's saying there. Being depressed and anxious. It speaks to the mind that she just was not all there to be able to look after a child. Not at all. Jamal was convicted on Friday of 1 count of causing Nafahat's death by neglect, 2 counts of not being nice to a child in relation to Nafahat, and a 3rd count of not being nice to a child in relation to another child. Judge Rosa Dean released Jamal on bail, but told her it was highly likely she would see jail time when she's sentenced on April 29th. Hell yeah. Jail the lass. Let her rot behind bars for what she did to a child and get her the help that she needs. She needs therapy. She needs therapy, quite clearly. But it's absolutely unforgivable what she did to her own flesh and blood. That is awful. It is evil. It is despicable. You can't say it's not. You can't say it's not. But yeah, and it just astounds me how she even Googles how to get rid of her. Like, what mother does that? What mother does that? And then you've got people in the world that can't literally have children. And it's like, oh. And there's people in the world that do have children but don't want them. And Google how to get rid of their own child. You see where I'm coming from? It's frustrating. It's awful. It's nuts with a capital N. It's despicable. It's evil. It's all of the above and freaking more. I'm absolutely disgusted. And I've said it once and I'll say it again. I hope she rots behind jail bars. But on the other side of the spectrum, I also hope she gets the help that she needs and she gets some therapy because she clearly freaking needs it. Because there's something missing. There's a screw loose up there. I swear there is. With that being said, what do you guys think? Sound off with your gobs below in the chat. And with that being said, if you haven't done so already and you love daily crime news, then this is the channel for you. Subscribe to join our Alter Nerd tribe. Like, share, comment, all of that good stuff. And until the next time, you guys, laters.